This is the Gorgon Incarnon. I'm ranking it as the 4th strongest Incarnon Primary, under the Boar and above the Burstin. It's a true meta weapon, which means you can use it on literally any build and still survive no problem. The Incarnon form is essentially the Stalta or the lens. Basically, the shot embeds for 1.2 seconds before detonating. The weapon only has 20 charges, but if you're playing it right, you'll be able to one-shot pretty much anything. There are two big issues with the Gorgon Incarnon. The reason I can't put Incarnons in the top 10 is because charging them can be such a pain, but also the Gorgon's AoE is 2 meters smaller than the Stalta, which does make a big difference in usability. For the first upgrade, I chose Hoplite Virtue just because it's easier to use than the other upgrade. The big thing you'll notice is that your shields get broken enough that you almost always have the buff active. For the second utility upgrade, I chose Void's Guidance, which is almost mandatory thanks to the Gorgon's high recoil when you spool up the full auto mode. This does make it pretty easy to charge the alt fire. And finally, the last and most important upgrade, I chose Absolute Valor. It's only 6% crit chance, but it's the perfect amount to get the Incarnon form to 99% crit, just to make things simple. So thankfully this build is going to be pretty straightforward because it's just a Hunter Munitions rifle build. Of course, Vigilante Armaments saves a mod slot, so I added Thermite rounds to push fire over viral in the stat spread of the AoE. But that mod can be anything you want. Once again, we're still using Primary Merciless to maximize the damage of the AoE, but then it's just the standard damage, multi-shot, viral, and crit stats, plus Hunter Munitions. This one is pretty open to whatever you like. So obviously it's really nice to have the Hunter Munitions rifle build because it means the Riven can be literally anything. Weirdly enough, I still rolled a pretty OP Unicorn Riven that has cold and crit chance plus fire rate. Reload speed does suck, but honestly it's pretty easy to still fill the gauge from one clip. So obviously true meta weapons don't need Warframe synergies, but the Gorgon does benefit from a few. The first frame and the model for the weapon was Grendel. I've built him as a triple buff frame thanks to Arcane Avenger, but his viral buff always skewed the damage stats too much. Thankfully that elemental bonus basically just amplifies Hunter Munitions, so no complaints here. For the second frame, I chose Excalibur Umbra because I'm almost forced to use Breach Surge. He's also a triple Umbra tank, so he has Arcane Avenger, so that combo can easily clean up any enemy not hit by the initial explosion. And finally, we actually have the first example of the only real Warframe synergy that's pretty necessary. I'm using Styanax because of his Axios Javelin. That ability easily pulls in every enemy in 20 meters, which means you're pretty much guaranteed to delete all of them in one shot. Not to mention he also has a really nice crit chance buff. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the Gorgon Incarnon in the comments. As always, thanks for liking and subscribing, and come say hi when I'm streaming.